a story. And that story is what I used to conclude. The story is a story of my community in Nigeria. My community in eastern Nigeria has a stream called Ahuruma. I don't want to make you pronounce that today. You know, some people say, oh, you got an African accent. I say, well, I'm practicing every day. You know? so I say, you don't know how to pronounce my name. Then you say, oh, you got an African accent, you know. I'm trying to get my Canadian accent soon. So, you see, Ahuruma is the story of creation from my community. It's the name of a stream that has given water to my community for many years. Now, how did this water come about? The myth holds that one dry afternoon, Ahuruma, the mother, came down from heaven in search of water to drink. She walked many distance and could not find water, and she was thirsty. Then as she walked from one place to the other, no one gave her water because they did not have water. So one lady who was generous, who had traveled about 20 miles to get water, saw this woman famished and said, please come in and share my water with me before you can continue on your journey. Now, Mother Ahuruma came in and drank this water. But the water was contaminated very bad. But because of her supernatural power, Mother Ahuruma did not die from the contamination. Then she said to this woman, because you were generous to me, I will do something for you. And so she asked God to turn her into drinkable water for the community. So God obliged her. And so Mother Ahuruma turned into water. So this stream in my community is called Ahuruma, which is actually means this body that you look upon as a way of memory and respect. So many years ago, I went to the chief priest to ask him when I started to develop cultural knowledge, to say, why is it that the sacrifice to the water, you cannot fish in this water? You cannot do your laundry in this water. You cannot step into the water wearing your shoes. And 2 weeks every year, Mother Ahuruma, according to the myth, decreed that the water should be left. He said, I want to rest 2 weeks every year, so you don't disturb me. So I asked him, he said, yes, it's because of the wisdom of what I translate. He says, a regenerative ethics of friendship and mutuality. That, I think, is the ethics of ecology that we should begin to think about, a regenerative ethics of mutuality and friendship, and I put and care and compassion. Now, on a recent visit to this Ahuruma, because I work for two charities here, one in Canada and one in US, Canadian Samaritans for Africa and Engineers Without Borders, the one at the University of Illinois at Champaign, Urbana. And so we went, now we have about 175,000 US, 175 US dollars project in my community. So I have not been to this stream for the last 10 years. So I went with them. And now Ahuruma is drying up. I know that as an 18-year-old, I couldn't even walk, into Ahuruma because I might get drowned. I'm not a good swimmer. Now, Ahuruma is drying up. Now, people no longer even drink the water. The water has gone bad. The fish that you never fished in Ahuruma, the people, because of hunger, have taken all the fish. The same way, one of the most protected species of animals in Africa you find in my community, the tortoise. We never touched it. They say tortoise is wisdom, so you don't touch him, you don't kill the snakes, and they preserved these creatures. But what happened? Now people are killing the tortoise, just like they are doing to the elephants, and they want to use them for, for different kinds of different kinds of rituals as well as also as meat. So what is happening to Ahuruma is, for me, a reflection of what is happening in the world. But I say that in Africa you find an intrinsic wisdom that respects the participation of every creature, equal participants, both non-life forms, in celebrating and enriching that which we hold together, that the earth and everything in it is sacred, that the earth and everything in it are participants. They have what we call vital force. So the stone has a vital force. And vital force is not just a reflection of intellection or vegetation, but just a participation in the mutual enrichment of all. So what is happening, therefore, for us, for Africans as well as the rest of the world, when we think of the effects of climate change, I think it is the absence of this ethical framework of a regenerative ethics of friendship and mutuality. And I want to conclude by saying, with the African Climate Justice Manifesto, when they say the effects of climate change are real. We are seeing the consequences, but they are not the making of Africans. Africa did not cause this climate change. For over 2 centuries, the industrialized world became wealthy by drenching the atmosphere in carbon. They plundered resources from every region of the world on the mountains of coal and oil. They built cities of plenty. In great buildings they constructed while triggering the climate crisis that hold all of us in trial. Many Africans keep on wondering, why is it that Western companies, in collusion with some unscrupulous African businessmen and women, dump toxic wastes and hazardous electronics and chemicals in Africa, and the dangerous prospects of carbon emission trading, which I've said is like the translation of ethically responsibility into monetary profitability. So you see that in Africa, the mountains of Mount Kilimanjaro, the mountains of Mount Kenya, of Mount Elgon are all disappearing. The icy cap are all disappearing. Lake Victoria, Lake Chad, River Niger, River Nile, all of them are receding. Even in Ethiopia, Lake Almeya has become sandy dust. So we do not have time to talk about this, but it is an appeal I make on behalf of my brothers and sisters that we need the support of everyone, especially given that Africa has a kind of fractured political and economic system that, when it adds with climate change, would do deadly blow to this continent of hope that needs support, compassion, solidarity, and love. Thank you.